You don't know the power of the dark side.
Welcome back, guys. Max here, and today, let me just say, that intro, I put that together especially for Star Wars. I love this game already. It's not even here. I just love the whole franchise, guys, and with a special game, there's certainly a special game and a special series in my heart. I felt that putting together a fancy intro was probably appropriate. Some of you might not think it was fancy, but it took me an hour out of my life, and I slapped that together as something a little bit different. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Thank you to everybody that left a comment on yesterday's video. If you've not seen it, then there will be a card flashing up on the screen, and there will be a clickable link at the end of this video. Go check it out. Let me know your thoughts and comments. But thank you for all the comments that you left. Very grown-up bunch of guys you really are. I was expecting a whole bunch of hatred and stuff like that, and it didn't come. I got a very, very intelligent viewpoint from across the board. Not everybody agreed with what I had to say about it, but some of you did, some of you didn't, and those that didn't shared a very concise and smart opinion as to the reasons why they didn't, and I really, really appreciate that. Totally respect you guys for doing it, and so big thank you to that. Nothing worse than responding to a bunch of hateful comments written by a bunch of people with an IQ, you know, the size of a hamster. Anyway, moving swiftly on, here we are, Star Wars. I've waited forever to do this video. It's going to be slightly longer than the norm, so I am going to blast through it as fast as I can. I know you guys don't want to listen to me babble for 14 years. So let's get into heroes, boots on the ground, infantry gameplay. That is my thing in the background. Here's a disclaimer. All the gameplay is from IGN. Borrowed it. Didn't steal it. Borrowed it. And all of that gameplay in the background is from IGN. Some of it from E3, some of it from Gamescom this year, and kind of mixed and matched it together to kind of get an overall viewpoint of the game. So, boots on the ground. What I'm looking forward to, love the heroes characters in this game, and that's where I want to start. At E3, we only saw 3 or 4 different hero characters within the game. I have a full list of every single hero character that's going to be in this game, and I'd like to read them to you really, really fast. I don't want to bore you all to death. If I can remember, and you know I'm terrible at this, I will put a link in the description to where I got all this from, and you can read it at your leisure in the full detail. But I'm just going to glance over some of these for the sake of time. So let's start with Mr. Boba Fett, because I know that's everybody's fan favourite. Was certainly a big pain in the arse in Battlefront in the previous game, to the point where they actually did end up nerfing the character. But in this edition, Battlefront 2, he is back. It says Boba Fett hunts his enemies by ambushing them with blinding concussion missiles and barrages of damaging wrist rockets. All the while, he's constantly on the move with his jetpack. So I'm not going to read the description for all these guys because you're going to get bored to tears. But his EE-3, produced by Blastic Industries, is capable of firing a 3-round burst at the cost of accuracy. For the hunt, it says, enemies around Boba Fett are revealed for a short period of time. Concussion rocket. Boba Fett fires a single concussion shot, dazing enemies caught in the blast, and a rocket barrage. He has 3 this time, guys, not just the one that we know remember before. He has 3 coming off the gauntlet. Now, moving swiftly on, Han Solo. Han Solo's special abilities are the shoulder charge. Han charges forward, knocking over and damaging the first enemy with his hits. Sharpshooter still has the ability. Han can fire the DL-44 rapidly for the next few seconds. Detonate charge. Han throws a sticky charge which can be detonated at will. Leia Organa, Princess Leia, to those of you that don't know, lets her swap her blaster for her personal enhanced E11 assault rifle, I'm assuming, allowing her to blast her enemies with a stream of laser fire. Correct me if I'm wrong, it's not an assault rifle, it's an assault blaster. We're in Star Wars now, not Battlefield. Squad shield. Leia deploys a squad shield at her location. The shield protects her and those inside from blaster fire. You'll remember this from the last game. They've not changed anything. Concussion grenade. Leia throws a concussion grenade which detonates on impact, blinding and confusing enemies in the blast area. All of this is the same from the previous game. Skywalker, Luke that is, back in the game. He's got the Force Rush ability, the Force Repulse ability, and he's also got the Force Push ability, which is similar to Vader. Bosk, or Bosk, I can never remember pronounce that guy's game. Predator Instincts, it says. Bosk loads in a round of high-damage micro-grenades and uses his Trandoshan instincts, gaining heat vision and enhancing his physical strength. Good God, that's a mouthful. The Dioxis grenade, he's also got that as a thrown grenade which releases a potent cloud of Dioxis gas that will damage enemies who stand within. And he's got proximity mines as well, and they are sticky. Chewbacca is in the game. Multi-shock. Chewbacca throws a grenade which can be broken into a cluster of smaller missiles which electrocute enemies as they hit. He has the heavy slam ability. Chewbacca leaps and smashes his fists into the floor, dealing damage to enemies around him and knocking them off their feet. And then he's got a special ability called the Wookiee Berserker. Chewbacca roars and overcharges his bowcaster, enable him to fire fully charged shots with no charge time. That's very similar to the previous game as well. And here's the mighty Darth Vader. He's got the saber throw is back, the force choke is back, and focused rage. Vader focuses his energies, allowing him to both deal and receive more damage. That's kind of a quirky one. Emperor Palpatine is back. He's got the electrocute function. Dark Aurora. The Emperor charges the air around him with force energy, damaging those around him and slowing their movement. And of course, he's got the chain lightning as well. Grievous is back in it, but unfortunately don't have any special abilities for Grievous right now. Kylo Ren is in the game. He has force pull. Kylo uses the force to pull enemies ahead, off their feet, and then towards him. That's a really poorly constructed sentence. Force freeze. Kylo freezes all enemies in front of him, immobilizing them for a short duration. And he's got a saber charge. Kylo charges forwards and performs a spinning 360-degree saber attack when the ability button is pressed again. That sounds pretty cool, not going to lie. Maul, as we all know, we've seen in the gameplay in the background. I'm sure that, I don't know if that's come up yet or not. I record the audio prior to doing the edit on the video, so I don't know if you've seen him yet, but we all know he's got the spin attack where Darth Maul goes into a high-velocity lightsaber spin attack and leaps forwards. The Furious Throw. Darth Maul hurls his lightsaber, damaging all enemies it touches. And he's got the choke hold, pretty similar to the other ones like Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker. Captain Phasma is in the game, and again, sadly, there are no special abilities for this, but he is using the F-11D blaster rifle. Rey is in the game. We also see her too. Insight. Rey senses her surroundings, revealing all nearby enemies to her. You'll see this in the background gameplay too, where they show up red through walls and all that kind of fun stuff. She has a dash strike ability. Rey charges forward with her lightsaber, dealing damages to enemies on the way. And she has a mind trick which causes enemies to be dazed and confused, and the way that highlights in the game is basically your controller will work against you, so if you push left it goes right and that kind of stuff, so it's kind of confused. Yoda is back in the game. Force Absorb. Yoda channels the Force Absorbing Blaster Fire before channeling it into a wave of force power that can damage and knock over enemies. That sounds pretty cool. Dash Attack. Yoda leaps forward, dealing damage to the enemies he hits on his way. He can perform the move 3 times in quick succession. Not quite sure about that one. But Yoda, nonetheless, the little green guy is there. Lando Calrissian, he has a smoke grenade. He has the sharp shot. Lando takes a moment to take focus on up to 5 enemies before delivering a flurry of headshots against each one. And he has the disabler ability. Lando throws out a sticky rebel device which disrupts the radars and communications of enemies around it, as well as revealing them through the environment. He can detonate the disabler at any time to shock his enemies around it. Again, a lot of babble. You'll have to go back and read that yourself because I did a really poor job of doing it. So there you are. That's a list of all of the known heroes that are coming to the game. Some of you are going to be asking about Jango Fett and things like that. Jango Fett is reported to be in the game, but there is absolutely zero information on Jango Fett other than his head, I believe, is on a... not an Imperial, what am I talking about? He's on a rebel soldier's head or a rebel officer's head or something like that. Anyway, kind of very strange. But anyway, Jango Fett reportedly in there. And so, super stoked for the infantry. Love to play these. And the way that you earn these characters these days, rather than picking up tokens, as you will probably know by now, you basically accumulate points for playing the objective, killing other players, doing various different things, and you accumulate points as you go. And as you accumulate these points, they all get pulled into a pot, which as you respawn, or I believe you can actually change mid-game, or certainly look that way in the trailer, you can actually change it mid-game, jump back in as a hero character, and then you can carry on playing until such time as you die, and then you go back into gathering more points. Not entirely sure if the hero characters gather points as they go. If somebody knows the answer to that question, put them down in the comments below. I don't know if they are actually capable of gaining more points towards themselves. Personally, I think they probably wouldn't be in the game because that's going to be really overpowered. You can just play it forever more. But anyway, there's the hero characters. Now I want to move on to what was the Star Battles, which we've just seen. I know they didn't call it Star Battles. They called it something else, but for the life of me, because I'm not scripting, I cannot remember for the life of me what it is. The more astute of you out there, Starfighter, I think it was called, it just came back to me, maybe that's what it was. For the more astute of you out there, you'll notice that there was no soundtrack with any of the gameplay that was shown at IGN, and that is only because, or sorry, not soundtrack, there's no music per se within this, and the reason for that is because of copyright laws. They're not allowed to release it at this current time, but there will be music in the background in all of these epic battles and all that kind of fun stuff. Something else with the Starfighter stuff that I thought was interesting. It looks like you can actually barrel roll all of the ships in the game, and I'd like to see that kind of ability put actually into Battlefield. I know that's kind of off topic, but I would like to see that, be able to barrel roll aircraft and stuff like that, you know, all the fighters and things like that within Battlefield. I thought that would be kind of cool, but you can do it in Battlefront 2. I know I'm going to get those two confused at some point. You can do it in the game. Looks kind of cool. You're going to see some video of that in the background as well. And currently speaking, in the model that was shown at Gamescom, there is 25 different types of starships in this game currently, and they're planning on adding more. In the game that was there, they covered Endor, they covered do you know what, I can't even remember for the life of me, but it's all there in the background in the video. You'll see what different sections of the game we're playing on. There's 3 separate maps currently. They're planning on doing a ton more, and while I'm babbling, I'm thinking to myself, I really need to research these videos stronger so I can give you guys more clarification. But I'm sure there's plenty of you out there that can fill in the blanks in the comment sections and let me know all the mistakes I've made as I go through this video. As you know me, I make mistakes as I go. And the attack or the killing stuff to accumulate points works exactly the same in this as it does in the infantry side game. So this is a separate mode as well. While I'm on that line of thought, this is a side game mode, if you like, so that you can fly spaceships and then you can go and play infantry gameplay as well. It's a separate mode and it's split, which I think is kind of cool. So, you know, on Tuesday we'll go and kill people on the ground, and then on Wednesday I'll get all you guys in here and we'll go nuts. Or on a Saturday we'll go in nuts. We'll populate our server and we'll all blast each other out of the sky and whatnot. So looks really, really cool. Really like the Starfighter section of this game. Love the look of the objectives. It certainly looks that they've put more content, more thought into this version of the game. Last time, anybody that bought Battlefront, I did in 2015, will know that it was very, very underly supported. There was no campaign, and in this version we are getting a campaign straight off the gate as well. There is an absolute ton of content within this game, and I'm hoping that DICE can learn some lessons and learn some things from this and actually put it into the 2018 version of Battlefield, I should say. That would be great, and they can use this for information gathering and all that kind of fun stuff. So there it is, guys. I'm trying to keep the video as short as possible and give you the maximum amount of information that I have to date. There is a ton of stuff I can talk about Battlefront 2 on, like, literally till the cows come home. Don't want to bore you to tears. Trying to make this as entertaining as possible. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay in the background. Hope you enjoyed the little intro that I made for the beginning of this video. And until tomorrow, when we go trawling the internet, it's the start of the new series. Tomorrow I will reveal what I have decided to call the series on a Friday, where basically I go around all the big YouTubers' channels, look at the questions that they're not answering, and then I answer them myself on a Friday. So if you didn't know that, that's what we do on Fridays, and the series is going to be episode 1, I guess you want to call it that, and it's going to start this Friday. And I will reveal all the what I've chosen. I did actually pick a name that somebody suggested, or might have tweaked it slightly, but I did do that, so I can't remember what his name was. Otherwise, there'd be a shout out. I might have to go back and trawl the comments. But anyway, trying to wrap this video up. Thanks for watching as always, guys. Thanks for all the positive comments, feedback, likes, subscribes, shares, and all that fun stuff. Channel is exploding. All thanks to you guys. I'll see you tomorrow in another video. Until that time, ta-da.